Today I'm going to create a parabola using the focus, directrix, and vertex. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to use the patty paper, the parchment paper. I'm going to fold it to create the axis of symmetry. Next, what you want to do is you want to create, or you want to draw the focus on the axis of symmetry. So here is the focus. Now we're going to go ahead and draw the directrix, which is a horizontal line, and I'm using this ruler. So you really don't have to measure up or down, just draw a straight horizontal line. Just make sure it's straight. So there is the directrix. Next, you want to space out the numbers on the directrix. So using a ruler, go ahead and measure a centimeter apart. I just started with 12, but you can start with any number. Just make sure that it's a centimeter apart. And this is not your number line. This is just to have consistent distance between each number. We're going to use it for the creasing purposes, for the folding purposes. Okay, once you've numbered it, now we're going to crease it. We're going to make the initial folding, which is going to be over, starting with 0, and we're going to fold it to create the first overlap in our parabola, our first point in the parabola. You're going to see what it is. So we're going to go ahead and fold it until we're over the focus. So there's our initial fold. And you notice it's right on top of the focus. And we do have a horizontal and a vertical line. And it does form an intersection. And that intersection is called the vertex. That's our vertex. What we're going to do now is we're going to start folding. And we're making these lines and these creases. And what's going to happen is it's going to create our parabola as we continue to make the creases. Now it has to be over the focus. So you see how it's that hash mark is right over the focus. You make the crease and then you repeat the process until you've done every number on that line. You see that? You overlap. Okay, you just keep on making the crease. You repeat the process throughout the whole line, and you repeat it and you repeat it until you reach the end. And you notice once we finish, you're going to see, as you can see there, you can see the curve there. You see the curve there. Now you're going to do the other side repeatedly. So you repeat this until you finish doing the parabola. And we're going to continue here. And you notice that it is making that, you can see the curve. And there it is. We've completed the parabola. And you can see the crease there. And you can see the parabola. And I'm going to go ahead and show you by just tracing it with my finger. And you notice that there is the parabola. And so there's the parabola. Now I do want you to notice that the distance from the focus to the vertex is the same as the distance from the vertex to the directrix. It's the same distance. And you can pick any point on the parabola. I'll pick this point, and those two will be the same distance. In our investigation, we learned about the vertex, the axis of symmetry, the focus, and directrix. Let's go ahead and take a few minutes with your partner and label each part. This is the focus, that is the vertex, and then we have directrix. Next, we're going to go ahead and write down our definition. A parabola is defined as a set of all points in a plane that are the same distance from a fixed line. The fixed line is a directrix, and a fixed point not on the line is called the focus. So you need to understand that the distance from the parabola to the directrix is the same distance from the parabola to the focus. And those are the marks that indicate that they are congruent. You need to understand the formula. We have y equals ax squared. A is going to be 1 over 4c, with c being the focus. C will be the focus. So here's this example. Our focus is 0, 1. and the vertex is at the origin, and you know that the directrix has to be 1 unit below, so we have y equals -1. So our directrix is that horizontal line, y equals -1, and if you want to use the equation, it's 1/4 times c. c is 1, so it's going to be 1/4 x squared. Let's go ahead and do some examples, and these are the examples we did in class. So we have a parabola that has a focus that is 2 units above, so the directrix has to be 2 units below, y equals -2, and we have the vertex at the origin. The equation is 1/4c, where c is 2, so we have to multiply 2 times 4 is 8. Now the second example, we have a vertex at 0, and the focus is below, and so c is going to be -1.5. So to find that, it's going to be 4 times -1.5. So it's -16x squared. And the line above is the directrix, y equals 1.5. Now it says here, what are the focus and directrix of the parabola with the equation? We know that y equals 1/4c, and it's negative. So I know that I have to multiply 4 to get 12, so it has to be -3, right? So our c has to be -3, so to get -12. So my parabola, here's the vertex 0, 0, and my focus is below, so it's gonna go up and downwards, and my directrix is gonna be 3 units above. So we have y equals +3, that's the directrix. So now we have a parabola that's going to open to the right. And so what you need to understand that the equation will always start with x, and then our formula is 1/4c y squared. Yep, the x and the y kind of switch. If you go left to right, it switches. So if it opens up to the right, it's going to be positive. And if it opens up to the left, it's going to be negative. Okay, let's go ahead and do some examples. So here's the example we're going to do. It says, what is the equation of parabola with the vertex at the origin and the directrix that's at x equal -5/2? So there is a vertical line, and there is the vertex, which is 0, 0, and it's going to open up to the right. So there is our focus, 5/2, 0. And so it's going to open up to the right. So it's going to be positive. So we have x equals 1/4 times c, and remember that c is the focus. So we're going to have to multiply 4 times 5/2. So we have x equals 1/4 times 2.5, which is going to give us 1/10 y squared. So you notice that this equation starts with x and it's equal to 1/10 y squared. If we look at the second example, we know that the directrix is 1.25. So now the directrix is going to be on the right side of the y axis. So it's 1.25, and there is the vertex, which is 0, 0, and it's going to open up to the left. And you notice that the focus is negative. So if the focus is negative, therefore the equation has to be negative. So there's our equation. Of course, it starts with x. So we have x equals 1/4 times -1.25 y squared. So our equation is x equals 1/5 y squared. The last example, of course, they don't give you the focus and directrix, but the only thing they give you is the equation. It's going to be 1/4c y squared. So it's going to be 1/4c equals -4. And now it's just an equation you have to solve for c. You're going to have to multiply -4 times 4c, which gives you -16c. And then you're solving for c, so you know you have to divide both sides by -16, so it's -1/16. So our focus is -1/16, 0. There's our vertex, which is 0, 0, and then our directrix is on the right side, which is x equals 1/16. We're going to go ahead and do the last one. We have x equals 0.75 y squared. We're again missing the focus in the directrix. We know it's going to be x equals 1/4c y squared. So we have to set 1/4c equal to 0.75. We're going to cross multiply 4c times 0.75, which gives you 0.75 times 4 gives you, I'm going to first set 0.75 and 1 over 4c equal, and then multiply these two, which I get 3c divided by 3. So c equals 1 over 3. So if c is 1 over 3, and I do know c is right here, so that's going to be 1 over 3 comma 0. This is the vertex, which is 0, 0. So it's opening to the right. So the x is going to be negative 1 over 3. I'm going to go and do some of the practice problems here. It says write an equation of parabola with the vertex at the origin with the given format. The given focus. So if I draw this, and that's a strategy. You probably want to draw it. The focus is negative 2, negative 2, 0. So that obviously tells you that it's opening to the left. And this right here is your directrix, which is x equals 2. So I have x equals 1 over 4c times y squared. That's the equation. So let me write it here on the side. So we have x equals 4 times negative 2, which is negative 1 over 8 y squared. So I just noticed that this is the vertex, which is 0, 0. There's a focus, which is negative 2. This is your c value. That's your c value. And then this right here will be your directrix, which is x equal 2. And so not to confuse you, I'm going to go ahead and put it on top. So we have x equal 2. And this is a way to remember this. If it starts with an x, it's either going to be moving, it's going to be opening to the left or the right. So this is the equation. Identify the vertex, the focus, the directrix, and the parabola with the given equation. So now they give you the equation. So we have 1 over 12 x squared. So I know that the equation is y equals 1 over 4c x squared. So what c value will you multiply 4 to get 12? Well, you know that's going to be 3. So if your focus is 0, 3, how do I know that? Because it starts with a y. So 0, 0, 3. Here is the vertex, and the directrix is 3 units down. So it's x, not x, it's going to be y. Y equals negative 3, and it's opening up. So the vertex is 0, 0. The focus is 0, 3, and the directrix is y equals negative 3. Number 8, write the equation of a parabola with the vertex at the origin and the given directrix. So in this case, it says x equal 3. So what I'm going to do, the directrix is x equal 3. 1, 2, 3. So here's the directrix. So we have x equal 3. Here is the vertex. It's going to open to, oh, wrong. Sorry. That was x equal negative 3. So x equal 3 is over here. X equal 3. Here is the vertex. It's going to open to the left. 1, 2, 3. So here is the focus. Negative 3 comma 0. This is the focus. This is the vertex, and this is a directrix.